First off, philosophy is a confession. What's good, y'all? Thanks for clicking on the link. WTJ Knowledge Drops. In this reaction, we're going to be watching Nothing Can Stop God's Blessings Over You. It's a motivational speak by the Alan Watts. This is my first time watching it, listening to it. We will explore it for the first time together. I am very familiar with the Alan Watts' work, as I'm sure you are if you're watching this. So we both probably know what's coming, and it's good stuff. Let's learn something about ourselves, guys. Love you.
There are moments in life when the ground seems to shift beneath us, not through chaos alone, but through a quiet, persistent unraveling. Relationships end. People leave. What once felt certain dissolves, and in that disorientation we often assume we're being punished, or worse, forgotten. But what if that collapse wasn't destruction, but divine construction? What if the silence you're sitting in isn't absence, but preparation? You see, life doesn't just hand us what we want, it molds us into who we must become to hold it. Perhaps
Gotta grow, y'all. We are becoming every day. Attract what you want, you don't find it.
that heartbreak, that season of solitude, was not a delay, but a refining fire, a holy disruption, because the relationship that's coming isn't random, it's aligned. And you had to become someone worthy, not just of love, but of conscious, soul-shaping partnership. So the question isn't, will love come again? The deeper question is, who are you becoming in the waiting? And are you willing to see this chapter not as an ending, but as an anointing for what's next? You see, we often think that when a relationship ends, when someone walks away, when the silence stretches too long, when love seems to disappear, we've been left behind, that we've failed in some way, that perhaps we're unlovable. And so we carry that wound like armor. We wear it into our days, hoping no one sees just how heavy it is. But what if I told you that the silence wasn't a punishment, but preparation? What if the space you're in right now, that gap between the last love and the one to come,
It definitely doesn't feel like preparation, does it?
isn't empty at all? It only feels that way because we've forgotten how to listen to stillness. There is a rhythm to everything. The tide comes in, the tide goes out. The seasons turn, the flowers bloom, they fade, life breathes in, and then it exhales.
Everything is a cycle. Everything.
Relationships, too, follow that rhythm. Sometimes you are being asked to sit in the pause, not because love has abandoned you, but because it's being realigned. And so are you. Think about it. If love had come sooner, you might not have recognized it. You might have rushed past it, dragged your old wounds into it, or
I wouldn't have wanted it. I'm still trying to convince myself that I do want it. I mean, obviously I do want love, but you know, I might be gay. I don't know. I don't like females anymore.
asked it to heal parts of you that were still bleeding. The truth is, the waiting wasn't pointless. It was a sacred interval, a divine exhale, if you will. And in that space, something was happening. Maybe slowly, maybe subtly, but happening nonetheless. You were changing, shedding the weight of past patterns, releasing the urge to prove your worth, learning, perhaps for the first time, that your value doesn't depend on whether or not someone chooses to stay. So now here you are, wiser, quieter maybe, more aware of the kind of love you need and the kind you can give. You're no longer chasing ghosts or trying to rewrite old stories. You're ready to write a new one, not because time has passed, but because you've finally arrived in the present. And when you get here, really here, something begins to stir, a feeling you can't quite name, a gentle nudge from within. It's not desperation, it's not fear, It's readiness. Not the kind that demands, but the kind that allows. So if it's felt quiet lately, if it's felt like no one's coming, maybe it's because someone is. But they're not rushing, and neither are you. Love isn't late. It's just arriving on time. And perhaps this whole time you were being gently held, not left behind. We grow up believing that love is something we have to go out and find, like it's hiding somewhere in the world, waiting for us to earn it, chase it down, or be lucky enough to stumble across it. So we go searching. We put ourselves out there. We try harder. We change who we are, just enough to be more desirable, more acceptable, more loved. But eventually, if we're paying attention, we realize something. The more we chase love out there, the further it seems to drift away, like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you grip, the faster it slips through. Love isn't a prize. It's not a transaction. It's not even a destination. Love is a presence, a way of being. And you don't become worthy of it by doing more. You become ready for it by...
It's all in your head. Build love in your head, and you can build love in the world. But you have to love yourself first, or you can't love anybody else. That's a key point. Work on yourself, and the world will change.
Becoming still enough to recognize it in yourself. You see, the love that's coming for you doesn't need you to impress it. It's not waiting for you to perfect yourself. It's responding to your essence, to the quiet energy you begin to carry when you stop needing love and start embodying it. That's the turning point. The moment when you stop saying, "Who will love me?" and start asking, "How can I love more freely, even now, even without anything in return?" You begin to smile differently. You walk lighter. You become less attached to outcomes because you're already whole.
Boom.
And love, when it does arrive, becomes a companion, not a cure.
Boom.
And it's in that space, that subtle shift, that new love begins to find you. Not because you hunted it down, but because you became a place where it could safely land. You weren't chasing it through the chaos.
Stuff.
You were...
This is all good stuff, guys. Good stuff. I'm so glad I clicked on it.
Becoming it through your stillness. You can feel when someone has done that kind of inner work. They don't need anything from you, yet you feel drawn to them. They don't demand love, but they radiate it. And isn't that the kind of connection you want? Not one that completes you, but one that reflects you. Mm-hmm. So if you're wondering when it will be your time, maybe the better question is, are you becoming the kind of love you've been seeking? Because the moment you do, love stops running. It starts arriving. There's something mysterious about how the heart works. It knows things long before the mind is willing to catch up. You might be walking through your day, not thinking about love at all, and suddenly you feel it. A flicker, a warmth, a shift you can't quite explain. Maybe it's a softness that returns to your chest. Maybe it's the way a stranger's smile lingers a little longer in your memory than it should, and you don't know why, but something inside you whispers, "It's time." Now, the mind doesn't like that kind of message. The mind wants evidence. It wants dates, details, certainty. It wants to calculate, to protect you, to make sure you never get hurt again. So it starts the chatter. Don't be foolish. You're just imagining things. Don't open your heart too soon. And if you're not careful, that chatter will drown out the very guidance that was trying to lead you home. But that inner stirring, that nudge, isn't imagination. It's confirmation. It's the deeper part of you recognizing that something is approaching. Like when the air shifts before a change in weather, or the way animals sense a coming storm. There's a kind of intuition woven into your being that doesn't need words. It just knows. And isn't it true? Long before we meet the right person, we start to prepare in unseen ways. We clean up corners of our lives. We become more honest with ourselves. We stop entertaining what doesn't resonate anymore, not out of pride, but because we can feel that something more aligned is drawing near. Synchronicities start to show up. Maybe you hear the same song in different places. Maybe someone mentions a name twice in 1 week. Maybe your dreams feel more vivid, more specific. These aren't accidents. They're gentle nudges, not promises, not guarantees, but reminders that you are being guided not by logic, but by resonance. The truth is, love rarely arrives with a formal announcement. It slips in quietly, through moments, through signals, through that familiar yet inexplicable sense of recognition. And when you feel it, really feel it, you don't need to explain it. You just need to trust it. Because the heart isn't trying to trick you, it's trying to prepare you. And all it asks in return is that you listen. Trust is a strange thing. Most people think it means being sure, having answers, seeing the full picture before they take a step. But real trust is far more uncomfortable than that. It doesn't come with clarity, it comes with openness. It's not the kind of trust that says, I know exactly how this will turn out, but the kind that whispers, I'm willing to stay open even if I don't. See, we want to love again, but we also want guarantees. We want to be told we won't get hurt this time. We want proof that this person, whoever they are, won't repeat the patterns we've seen before. And so we hesitate. We build walls, not out of cruelty, but out of caution. We think we're protecting ourselves, but what we're really doing is postponing what's already trying to reach us. Because
my openness is next level. I've lived my entire life being the exact opposite, so to make up for it, I have been overly ethically. Overly ethic. Whatever.
Because a new relationship can't walk into a locked heart. It can't breathe in a space that's still cluttered with suspicion and fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't say that to shame you. I say it to remind you of your own power.
Well,
You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be open. You're appreciated. Being open doesn't mean being naive. It means being available. It means you're no longer approaching love like a courtroom where someone has to prove their case beyond all doubt. You're approaching it like a garden, curious, present, nurturing what's real and letting go of what is.
I love that. You gotta approach it like it's a garden. You gotta grow it. You gotta grow that shit, man. Give it some love and talk to it. Be available.
That shift changes everything. Because when you stop demanding certainty, something beautiful happens. You become receptive. You start to feel what's actually happening, not just what you're afraid might happen. You listen more closely. You stop projecting your past onto the present. And that's when love, true, grounded, present love, finally has room to grow. You don't have to know how it will all unfold. You don't have to have every fear resolved. What matters is your willingness to feel again, to risk tenderness, to meet this moment, not with armor, but with awareness. So if your heart's been waiting for the green light, this is it. Not because everything is guaranteed to go perfectly, but because you're finally strong enough to stay soft. And love, real love, doesn't come through certainty. It comes through your willingness to open the door. It's funny how quickly fear tries to slip in when love starts to knock again. You begin to feel something new stirring in your life, and almost instantly the old voices show up. Careful, you've been here before. Don't get your hopes up. You know how this ends. And it's understandable. The heart remembers
Crazy
pain.
broads.
It's trying to protect you. But here's the thing we often forget. You're not the same person you were back then.
Oh, not even
You've
close.
lived through things now. You've fallen and gotten back up. You've
my
grieved,
God.
you've reflected, you've outgrown old habits and broken patterns that once ran your life without your permission. You've sat with your loneliness instead of filling it. You've learnt to hold space for your emotions instead of silencing them. That's not nothing. That's growth. That's transformation. So when fear tries to tell you that history will repeat itself, pause, breathe, and ask, who's speaking right now? My past or my presence? Because the truth is, the future isn't a rerun unless you bring the same script. And you haven't just changed the words, you've changed the entire story. There's this quiet wisdom that comes after heartbreak, a clarity. You begin to see what you missed before. You notice red flags earlier. You stop romanticizing chaos. You start valuing peace over passion that burns too fast. That's the beautiful part of being broken open. You become more conscious of how you want to love and be loved. And with that awareness comes a different kind of readiness. Not the kind that's rushing to fill a void, but the kind that waits for resonance. You're no longer asking, do they like me? You're asking, do we meet in truth? It's a shift from proving your worth to protecting your peace. So, no, love won't repeat itself unless you reach back for what you've already outgrown. And I don't think you will. You've come too far. You've felt too much. You've learned, often the hard way, what your heart truly needs. Let what's coming be unfamiliar. Let it be softer. Let it be new. Because it is new, not just the person, but the way you show up this time, with more honesty, more self-respect,
Yes.
more trust in your own intuition. You've outgrown the pain. Now grow into the love that matches who you've become. There's a point in life where love
Okay.
shifts. It stops being about finding someone to complete you and starts being about finding someone to walk with. Not to fill your gaps, but to witness your fullness. Not to rescue you, but to sit beside you while you rescue yourself. Most of us start our journey believing that love is a cure, that if we could just find the right person, everything inside us would settle. The noise would quiet down, the doubts would vanish, and so we enter relationships with expectations so heavy they collapse under their own weight. We ask people to be our
Lower expectations, higher serenity. Boom. AA.
everything, because deep down we're still unsure if we're enough on our own. But when you've spent enough time in your own solitude, not loneliness, but true solitude, something changes. You stop looking for someone to save you and start looking for someone to share the view. Someone who doesn't need to carry you, but chooses to walk beside you anyway. You're not handing them your brokenness saying, fix this, but
You're going to have to carry my ass probably. I'm crippled as hell.
offering your wholeness, saying, here, let's build something together. That's what this next relationship is about. It's not the frantic grasping of two people trying to avoid their own emptiness. It's two grounded souls, overflowing, coming together not out of desperation, but out of resonance. Love not as a transaction, but as a communion. When that kind of love arrives, and it will, it won't feel like fireworks, it'll feel like home. Not because it lacks excitement, but because it doesn't trigger your alarm bells. You won't be asking yourself if they'll stay, or if you're good enough, or if it's all too good to be true. You'll just feel settled, present, calm. And don't be surprised if it comes softly. No grand drama, no racing heartbeat, just a deep knowing that says, yes, This is different. Because when love no longer needs to fix anything, it finally has space to breathe. So now the invitation is simple. Stop waiting to be completed. You're already whole, and from that place of wholeness, let love come in, not as a cure, but as a companion. Because this time, it's not about finding your other half. It's about meeting someone who's already whole and choosing to walk forward together.
All right. All right. Watts reminds us that delays aren't dead ends. They're simply pauses in greater rhythm. You got to trust the flow, embrace the unknown, and recognize that what's meant for you will come on its own time. The illusion of control keeps us trapped in fear, but when we let go and trust life's unfolding, okay. The illusion of control keeps us trapped in fear, but when we let go and trust life's unfolding, we start living with true freedom. Watts challenges us to step into that fearless space. Nothing can stop the blessings meant for you. The universe isn't denying you, it's shaping you. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward because greatness is already within you. Just continue building. Work on yourself, and the love you want and need, you will attract. I guarantee it. All right, that about wraps it up for this one, guys. Thank you again for tuning in. WTJ Knowledge Drops. Be sure to like and subscribe. Give me a share if you don't mind. Tell a friend. Comment. Tell me how much I suck. Whatever. I love you guys. Y'all be good. Go love somebody that you don't like.